WFLA Now will begin momentarily. WFLA Now will begin momentarily. Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here's JB Buno.
Tom Brady has a new deal with your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The GOAT not settling at his current ring total, wanting more, signing with the Buccaneers through the 2022 season. JB Buno, Gabrielle Shirley here with you live on WFLA Now. You guys know how this works. You can use hashtag HeyGabrielle on the right side of your screen, hashtag HeyJB on the left side of your screen. We want to feature some of your comments because this is breaking news according to multiple NFL insiders. Tom Brady is going to be with us at least for an extra season beyond the initial deal that he signed last year with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Gabby, what are we learning here about the deal? This is all still fluid, very much developing at this hour, but Brady apparently likes the Florida sunshine.
Oh, yes, JB, he definitely does. And if you've been following Tom Brady since he's come here to Tampa, he has been saying, I want to play until I'm 45 years old. That has come out, and he's stuck to it. And this deal, that's the biggest takeaway from it, JB. He originally signed a 2-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that would allow him to play until he was 44. But this new deal that's coming out, 45, that is the biggest takeaway for me. He is expected to play until he is 45 years old. He is 43 right now, turns 44 in August. Again, that's upcoming for the 2021 season. And then this deal through 2022. Now, also, another big takeaway. In the simplest of terms, I am by no means a cap wizard, but the Bucs, they are up against that salary cap. It is lower this year due to the cap sharing that happened and not a lot of teams having fans. So it's a lot lower, $182.5 million. So with this deal, the term voidable, it said originally when it came out, a 4-year contract with voidable years, something like that. Well, that just means that the Bucs have the ability now to spread his salary over those 4 years. So I am told, again, from the experts, that he will save the Buccaneers $19 million this year, which is huge because that will allow the Buccaneers, in turn, to bring back the team, to keep the band together. And that's what Tom Brady has always been about. He's been on the lower end of contracts considering how good he is, just because he always wants to leave money to have good players around him.
This is something that has followed Brady around really since his days with the Patriots, perhaps taking a little bit less money to give it to players that can help him win championships. It's really something that very few, if any, do in today's modern sports industry. The idea of taking less to get more winning on your resume. We're going to get to some of the comments coming in here, everybody. On Facebook Live, you can use hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyGabrielle here, and we can feature your comment here on screen like this out of the Facebook Live comment section. Jaden Effenberger, hey there, Jaden, thanks for joining us. Hashtag HeyJB, how much on his contract, the actual structure itself is still, I think, coming out here through various reports. Again, the Buccaneers themselves haven't announced this move. Tom Brady himself hasn't confirmed the news through any NFL insiders yet, so this is all very fluid right now, Gabby. But the dollars and cents here are important based on what you were just talking about with the salary cap.
Very fluid. The original contract, the deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was 2 years for $50 million, so 25-25. But of course, there are a slew of bonuses connected to that. Tom Brady took the Buccaneers to the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl, so those all come into play as well. But again, the numbers we are hearing right now, even though we don't know really all of the details, is that he will save the Buccaneers $19 million this year against the salary cap, and I am told that he will make between like $7 and $9 million. Again, it's just he's going to make his money, even though it's less than other quarterbacks, perhaps because he wants to leave some for the other talent. But he's going to make his money. It's just going to be spread out a little bit.
I want to spotlight a comment. I can only throw comments up here on screen if they have one of the hashtags here out of the Facebook Live comment section. Thank you to Jaden. But Veronica here, I can't throw her comment up here on screen, but her comment says it's about, or excuse me. No, wait, that's the wrong comment. Hold on. Wait, where was it?
They're flying.
Yep. There was a comment on here, and I thought it was from Veronica that said, it must be nice when you have a billionaire wife to help make some of these decisions a little bit easier. Of course, talking about Giselle. Tom Brady isn't really... I can't imagine that the Brady family is hurting for cash these days. So the idea of spreading out that money over a longer deal is something that for him probably makes a lot of sense. And it makes a whole lot of sense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's just talk about some of the pending free agents. Of course, bringing back Levante David.
Huge.
Great. I mean, Devin White's battery mate there with the linebacker core. Great to have Levante David back with Devin White. That pairing was so crucial to our Super Bowl run. Shaq Barrett is a free agent. Rob Gronkowski, Brady's bestie, is a free agent here as well. Could this mean that Rob Gronkowski comes back to the Bucs next season? Then Dominican Suh. How about playoff Leonard Fournette? So Antonio Brown. There's a lot of free agents out there on this team. And so bringing back these free agents just became a whole lot easier for GM Jason Light because he's got just a little bit more wiggle room with that cap space, Gabby. So of those names out there, what's the first name that sticks out to you that perhaps this opens a bit of a wider door for them to return to the Bucs next season?
Without question, Shaquille Barrett. He led the league in sacks 2 seasons ago now. The Bucs put the franchise tag on him last season. That's all well and good. The Bucs wanted to keep him. He gets, and forgive me, I needed to look this up, but I guess it's the top 10, JB, or top 5 average salaries made by the top people in that position.
On the franchise tag?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
So Shaquille Barrett, there were rumors, not even rumors circulating, but people were thinking perhaps they would franchise tag him again. And I, even less on the football side, JB, it was more of a personal issue for me that franchise tag is fine. The players, I mean, they don't sometimes have a choice, but they'll take it. But they are always looking for that long-term deal.
Sure.
And for Shaquille Barrett to have to go through the franchise tag for 1 season, if the Bucs were to do that to him again, I feel like that would have been a clear sign that, okay, we're keeping Shaq this year, and then he's going to be gone because he's just over this. He wants a long-term deal.
When you hear about players complaining about being franchise tagged, it's only for one reason. And the reason is because in the NFL, unlike any other sports league out there, perhaps, well, this is subject to debate, but you're one injury away from your career being over.
Exactly.
And if you're playing on the franchise tag, you get a nice, lofty sum for that 1 year. But then what about the next 3-4 years? What about the family that you have to provide for? So Shaq Barrett does, I think, look really good here as far as the potential of bringing him back. Really, I mean, was a dynamo in the Todd Bowles defense over these last 2 seasons. Todd Bowles is going to be returning. I think he wants Shaq Barrett back there with the rest of the gang. Rob Gronkowski is another one, too.
So, too. And with Barrett, JB, I think the reason that a deal hasn't been made yet is because Barrett was waiting for the franchise tag to go to someone else, like Chris Godwin, which is what the Bucs did. So now, in my opinion, they are likely to be working on something with Barrett. Yes, Rob Gronkowski, he's Tom Brady's right-hand man. He has said, he wants to keep playing. He's not retiring, going back into retirement. I think that is also a huge possibility. Antonio Brown and Leonard Fournette, those are the question marks for me. Brown, perhaps more likely. I think Leonard Fournette might be able to get more money than the Bucs are willing to pay him. He was great, playoff Lenny, Super Bowl Lenny, all of those names that originated because he just took off in the postseason when it really mattered. But I think that he has a lot left in the tank and that a team might be interested in signing him, again, to more money than the Bucs have.
I couldn't agree more. When I hear about the list of names that might not return next season, that might seek a bigger money deal elsewhere, I think you hit the nail on the head. As much as we really enjoyed having Leonard Fournette here with us for a season, that was a luxury more than perhaps, and even Antonio Brown. I think that Leonard Fournette was a luxury. We had Ronald Jones. We had don't forget we had LaShawn McCoy. And while the best days of LaShawn McCoy's career, clearly in the rearview mirror, again, that was just another option that just sat on the bench. I mean, we're talking about an abundance of riches on the offensive side of the ball last year. So really, it's about shoring up that defense, and Shaq Barrett is clearly a priority. I think Ndamukong Suh, who's really enjoyed his time in Tampa, that could be another guy who benefits from this Brady extension, just because there's a little bit more money and incentive for him to come back and play for Todd Bowles again. And then Rob Gronkowski is the obvious one as well. I want to get to a lot of the comments. I'm missing a ton of comments here as we're talking here about free agents. Let's get to the ones. We're going to go rapid fire here.
Let's go.
You can use hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyGabrielle in the Facebook Live comment section. We'll feature your comments on screen here. Let us know what you think of Brady reportedly signing an extension through 2022. David Fassel, hashtag HeyJB. This is between him and his family. Brady is a family guy. Without question, this is something that Tom Brady likely, had a very, very thorough conversation with his family and said, hey, do we like Tampa? But how do you not like Tampa, right? What's not to love here in what they call, how about Tampa Bay, says Barbara, hashtag HeyJB. Who wouldn't want to stay in Tampa Bay or Tampa Bay?
There we go.
And what a man to take a less salary than that shows how much he wants to be here and how much he wants to win.
Correct. That, I think, is the greater element, because he knows that he has established himself, JB, right? That for him, yes, he wants to get paid, but it's not about the money. But for other players, perhaps that are younger, just coming into the league, players with a lot of talent, it is about the money. So Tom Brady has, as you already mentioned, from his days in New England, has been willing to give his team a little bit more wiggle room to get those big name players, those players with a lot of talent that are going to help him win.
Matt Kelly here, hashtag HGB. How much longer do you think Brady can play and play well? We're going to come back to this because this is our poll question. Very curious to see what some folks have to say about how much. I think that there was some that believe that this deal might be even longer than just adding another season, tacking another season on the end. We're gonna talk about that in about 5 minutes. Let's get through some of the more comments here. Here's a comment for you from Steve here in the Facebook Live comment section.
Steve, diehard Miner fan, but Brady is amazing, and I think they will make it work so they can go get another ring. Brady needs a few more. Have a great day.
Brady needs a few
LOL,
more.
there was an LOL after
There's
that.
an LOL, yeah, in there. Yeah, definitely emphasize the LOL. Like, Brady needs a few more rings. Yeah, does he need a few more rings? He's pretty clearly.
If he wants the whole set of 10,
that's
definitely.
right. He's going for every finger. That's clearly the goal here. Jason Roberts, hashtag HeyJB. This is fantastic news. Brady broke the curse of Tampa Bay, and we should be grateful to have him for as long as he wants to be with us. I'm going to pump the brakes on Jason's comment for just a second. I don't know if there was necessarily a curse. This isn't Pirates of the Caribbean. This wasn't a curse of the...
There was a kicking curse. I would say there was a kicking curse.
Okay, there was a kicking curse. But we've won the Super... The Bills might have a curse. Sorry, Heather Monahan, our digital content producer. The Cubs had a curse. The Red Sox had a curse. I don't know if the Buccaneers had a Super Bowl with John Gruden and the gang. Of course, back in, was it 2002, 2003? Yes. I always forget because of the seasons and they overlap. But yeah, so I don't know if there was a curse, but it's great to have Brady in town. Here's Joy for you here with hashtag HeyGabrielle.
Joy Matthews, I've missed you. As TB learned at Michigan, the team. Yes, 100%. He has demonstrated that for 21 seasons in the NFL.
Clearly, a proven winner and knows how to go about his business. Pat Scrivano, hashtag AJB. It's hard to put a number on how many years he should sign. Certainly, I think it's a safe play to take it 1 year at a time based on his age and prior injuries. That last word, Gabby, is the one that sticks out to me the most because this Brady dream that we're all currently finding ourselves in and the one that we can't seem to wake up from because Tom Brady not only chose to come here to Tampa over, let's say, the Chargers in the previous offseason, not only did he win a Super Bowl in his first year with the team, but says, hey, I don't want to pull an Elway. I don't want to pull a man. I don't want to ride out on my white horse and ride off into the sunset. I want to keep going. I'm hungry for more, is what Tom Brady is saying. But the dream comes to a screeching halt if injuries come into play. Now, let's hit the applause button for the first time on the stream for Tristan Wirfs and the entire offensive line. First of all, Tristan Wirfs coming in as a rookie and perhaps being one of the best rookies in the entire class with how well that he performed. I think he gave it one sack.
Something crazy. And the number, just something crazy.
His numbers are just incredible. And he's young. He's a cornerstone that they can build around on that offensive line. So it's about keeping Brady upright. Could some of this cap money be used to bring in a veteran offensive lineman to help protect Brady? Because, there's injuries happen on the offensive line. I think shoring up the offensive line is going to be a big priority here. And I hope that injuries do not derail Brady's career, but let's stay positive here. Everett Estrada, #KJB, the Lombardi Trophy also extended its stay in Tampa Bay. #Tampa Bay, #Boat Parade 2. Gabby and I were just talking before we got on stream here. The last time we were on stream here together was for that epic boat parade. If we ran it back, would Brady throw the Lombardi Trophy again? Would he have that quote unquote avocado tequila again to celebrate here on the Hillsborough River?
Probably.
I think he would. I think he would. What a surreal ride it was. And then Jason Roberts here again, #KJB. Any players that leave won't get a Super Bowl win next year. I love how we're oozing confidence here. Oozing confidence here in the Facebook Live comment section. But let's get back to the comment that we had earlier. We're going to wrap up here, folks, on this to Matt Kelly's comment. How much longer do you think Brady can play and play well? We've talked, you and I have talked about this on so many previous streams. So this is going to be a lot, a rehash. So, yes. But why don't you go first? Because I have an opinion on this. I know you have an opinion on this.
Matt, I apologize for defaulting to the source, but Tom Brady has stated that he wants to continue to play as long as he is able to continue to play.
Yep.
And for Tom Brady, that doesn't mean 80%. That doesn't mean 90%. That doesn't mean 98%. That means he wants to continue to play at 100% and do what he does, be able to throw the football, be healthy enough to do the things he needs to do. And right now, I think he has that capability. He did not slow down at all this season. You all know that he is meticulous with what he puts into his body, his training routine, the workouts, the rehab, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The TB12 method. So I don't even know if Tom Brady knows the answer to that, how long he's going to continue to play. I believe him when he says until he can't do it like he wants to do it, which, again, that could be blown up in a practice this coming offseason with an injury. But until that point, I think he is just full speed ahead.
And it's not, you don't need to be a doctor to understand that the older that you play the game, the more susceptible you are to injury. Father Time is undefeated. And while Tom Brady is giving Father Time a run for his money at the moment, injury is a concern. So another question that we can delve into here, I'm gonna hop in here and answer Matt's question here in just a second. But another question is, at some point, the Buccaneers draft the Brady successor. When do you do that? Because if Brady does go down with an injury, and I'm sorry that we're staying on this injury train, we should be staying positive here, but you have to always think about these things when you're Jason Light, when you're an NFL GM, when you're building a franchise for not the next season, but seasons beyond. So if you're Jason Light, where are you looking for that quarterback? It's clearly not this draft, and the reason is because there's so many quarterback needy teams out there that are looking at a guy like Justin Fields, looking at a guy like Trey Lance, looking at a guy, of course, Trevor Lawrence is going to go number 1 overall. The kid from BYU. There's a lot of quarterback hungry teams out there. So to get that legit quarterback prospect, probably this isn't the draft. So probably next draft but at some point the Bucs do need to draft their quarterback of the future to perhaps overlap with Brady just for enough of a period of time that Brady's tutelage just rubs off on that quarterback prospect, the Buccaneers quarterback of the future.
Or, JB, what do you think of this, which I have been hearing and reading a lot about, that the Bucs, which I am just proud to say, perhaps started a trend. And that trend is we're going to cherry pick the best quarterback available because this quarterback has experience in the league. They know what they're doing. And we are going to bring them to our city with all of the weapons that we already have, and we're going to win. Because when you draft a quarterback out of college, the NFL is a whole different beast. And how many times do you get someone and it just doesn't work out? For example, Jameis Winston. So I've been hearing that as well, that just might be the new thing.
To get that veteran.
To just keep picking them from other places and not worrying about bringing this guy up from the bottom.
It's an interesting concept. Interesting concept. Let's focus back on the. We could talk about that one for a while. We might have to talk about that for a while off stream.
We could debate here.
But
I've just
back
missed
to Matt,
JB, everyone.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Back to Matt's question.
Sorry, Matt.
I think that Brady's got at least 3 in him. 3 more.
Wow. Okay.
And
it's even. I mean, I'm just happy with this new 1-year extension. So I'm going 2, I guess.
Yeah, so we got 2 in the bank. I think he's got another one in there beyond it, barring injury. Okay. Just because, and I go back to all of my previous streams when I said the same thing over and over again, with an aging quarterback, usually the first thing to go that limits their ability to continue to play the game is the arm. You look at Drew Brees and what's transpired with him over the last 18 months. There's just not the same zip on the ball. There isn't. In the latter years, Brett Favre is the best comp, I think, as is Peyton Manning. Those are players that played into their later years. Brett Favre well into his 40s, continued playing on with the Vikings and with the Jets. And the ball just lost a little bit of zip. Brady, clearly.
Not there,
on the zip is there.
It is.
Brady is showing such phenomenal touch on his deep passes over the last, what we saw in this marvelous 8-game winning streak to finish out the season and hoist the Lombardi. I think that until we start to see that those first couple of games where Brady a pass falls short, maybe a few yards short, or he just has a game where he doesn't have that same gusto, so to speak, behind his passes. I think until that point, it's safe to say that Brady still has a few more, and again, the TB12 nutrition plan and that being such a core passion for him, being able to say, hey, listen, if you take good care of your body, if you put the right things in your body, what you're going to do is be able to outperform everyone around you for an extended period of time. He's clearly done that with the TB12 message and with the TB12 brand, so I think that it's very important to him, as you noted, Gabby, to play for as long as he can. And so I think he's got 3 more in him to answer Matt's question. But what do our Facebook fans have to say about this particular? So this was our Facebook poll. How many seasons should Brady suit up for the Buccaneers going forward here? And I want to we're going to first just put away Matt's comment here, and we got 700 votes.
Okay. Ready.
700 votes, and here are your results. How many more seasons should Brady suit up for the Buccaneers? 4 plus, says our Facebook audience. Just as many as he wants is pretty much, I think, what our Facebook audience is saying. But interestingly enough, the next highest ranking option here is 2, is what you said, 2, and then 22%. Is what I said. 3 seasons, 22% is what I said, and then 10% there for just 1. So clearly, none of our Facebook fans want Brady just for 1 more season. Gabrielle Shirley, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I think this is awesome for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What they are doing with this limited cap space is just incredible. So kudos to the team, the organization, everyone that is a part of this. Tom Brady coming back. So exciting, and I think that's going to help JB as well. Like I said, these younger guys might not be willing to take less money, but I think Tom Brady sticking around is definitely going to help the Buccaneers' case in keeping this team together. So I think it's all good, and we'll be following through the rest of this exciting football time.
You can read more on Brady's extension, and also this is going to continue to develop over the course of the day. This is all based on a couple of insider reports from Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, the crew that usually breaks this major NFL news. So as the developments occur, you can read more about Brady's extension with the Bucs and what it means for the salary cap and what it means for pending free agents on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. Also, of course, our sports team with Gabrielle Shirley, our wonderful sports team. You can catch them on WFLA on air on WFLA News Channel 8. 8 on your side. 8 on your side, your official Buck station. For Gabrielle Shirley, I'm JB Buno. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.